dears, and thank you for popping by. Very kind of you. Get the kettle on, make yourself a brew, grab whatever you're working on. Let's just have a long overdue chatter. So, this, if you remember, have I got my pattern? I'm sure I've got it somewhere. Here we are. This is what I've been working on. This has been taking the most of my devotion, which is the bed jacket from Serdar. I'm thinking early 50s is what I'm thinking. And yeah, so I gave myself a sort of arbitrary deadline, end of August, because I knew that this is the kind of thing that by the end of August you really need it to throw over your shoulders. And I'm nearly there. So I just finished this cuff last night. So I have it. So I'm just putting some safety pins in now, just so that it can sort of take shape, and then I can throw it on and we can see what it looks like. I've got my tea brewing. I still haven't made myself a tea cosy. I'm using an old hat, but it's nice and clean. I don't wear it anymore. It does the job, so. But I've just been looking through my knitting books, looking for a specific pattern, because this might be swearing. In fact, it probably is being quite rude for the end of August, but I'm thinking Christmas. So, more because I would love to have a little stall somewhere, you know, just a local village hall, but, you know, a little stall, and just to be able to spread all my knitted items, and hopefully they'd find lovely new homes, people that'll appreciate them. That's what I love to do. So, here, let's stick this in. So I was on the hunt this morning for my Christmassy patterns. One that I absolutely love to make is out of this knitter book. This is one of my favourites, actually. It's got it's got a lot of patterns in it that I like. And it's Rosie Woodland's Christmas set. And my favourite to make is the stocking here. I made them last year for the church Christmas trees, because they had loads of different sized Christmas trees, and they fit really well on there. So yeah, so I'm really chuffed about that. I thought I'd lost it. Initially I thought it was in this, which is Granny's, which I got from Granny, and it does have Christmas decorations in. Quite simple. I remember making these. Well, there's Mary and baby Jesus. We don't want that. That's what we want. Christmas decorations! Woo, for the tree. So yeah, I initially thought it was in there. However, I've just flipped through and this has caught my eye. Christmas pudding tea cosy. So I'm tempted. Novelty tea cosy. Oh, I think it's got to be done. I'll find the time from somewhere. But anyway, so I think I've stitched up. So it's basically this. So this bed jacket, it's knit all in one. So it's just knit. So you start from the left cuff, you work along, you cast on stitches to expand it, and then that creates the panel that goes on the front over to the back. Then you cast off and you carry on along the back, then you cast back on to do the front panel with the back, and then cast off, do your sleeve, and then your cuff. So it literally is knit all in one. The elation that I felt when I'd finished the last of the 4-row lace repeat. Because at this point I'm sick of it. You know, I'm so thrilled with how it's turned out. I'm glad that every single time I did a fluff up, and there were many, that I have ripped back, I have still got a fluff up in there. If you can see down the middle, I mean, those that have got the trained eye will be able to spot it. But down the middle, you can see where it's slightly out. If I put it against my cardigan, you can really see it, look. For those who can't see it, it's, hold on, let's find it. Zoop. There we are, it's there, running down. If I put it against my cardigan, you can see it. But yeah, but I'm so thrilled that it's done. So it's like now after doing this big project, I'm ready for some little things. So that's why I've been hunting down the Christmas stuff. But let's put it on. So what I've still got to do is I've got to obviously sew up the bits. That goes around the back of the neck. And then you've got to sew up the sleeves on the side. But what I've mainly got to do is do the band around the bottom. So this band bit here with the tie. And it says to do it in 3 sections. However, I think I'm just going to see if I've got a really long circular needle and just do the whole lot. Because I think that will make it look a bit higher quality, if that makes any sense. You know, but also I'm not a sewer. I'm definitely a knitter. So for me, having to stitch things up and stuff, it's really, ugh. That's why I like to knit in the round. Unfortunately, when I knit in the round, my stuff goes bias. It goes on the wonk. It's a bit Eiffel Tower. But let's, ooh. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm going to be getting my wear out of this. Oh, look at it. Fabulous. Right, so it still needs the band putting on, but let's imagine. Oh, that's so lightweight. Okay, and if I do that with the cuffs for my washing, when I'm stood washing the pots. Yeah. Yeah! Oh, we're nearly there. Oh, it was worth every rip back. Oh, I'm going to wear this so much because it's going to be good for when it's cold and you need that extra bit of something, but it's not cold enough for my granny jumper, my granny cardie. So, yay! Fantastic. Oh, I'm loving it. Oh, it feels really nice on. Yeah, good. Right, we're sorted. We've got that done. Oh. So I'm so thrilled about that. Oh, fantastic. Oh. Right. I don't know about you, but it's definitely getting to that time of year where the seasons are changing, whether they're warming up or cooling down. But I was walking to work the other day, and I start work at 5:45 in the morning. And across the cricket ground, it was just mists and mellow fruitfulness, you know. And I went in and I said this to my fellow co-workers, and they didn't get it. They've never heard of Keats, you think. Never mind. But I was like, come on, surely you've seen Bridget Jones. Mists and mellow fruitfulness. You know, but yeah, no. But it's definitely got that chill in the air. I've been contemplating putting the fire on of an evening, but I still think it's just too soon. It's too soon. It's way too soon. So no. Not quite yet, just put an extra jumper on. But I will have to start sticking down the lanes soon before it gets dark, wet, and there's nothing worse than being cold, wanting to put the fire on, and there's no prepared wood. So I've got to start getting my wood pile sorted. But oh, I love it. It's so snuggly. I think I will definitely make another one of these, for sure. But this side of New Year's, no. But what I'll do is I will treat myself to some really, really nice, beautiful, snuggly wool 3-ply it is. And it says lamb's wool on it. Baby wool or baby nylon 3-ply. Whatever. But yeah, a nice ecru colour will be gorgeous with that. But oh, I love it. Right, so yes, moving on. So have I mentioned that? So we're dealing with Christmas, aren't we? But I think we've got autumn before. So I have been thinking, okay, what can I do? I was around Mummy's the other day, and she was basically saying like, oh, I can't just sit doing nothing. I can't just sit watching telly, you know, because the nights are drawing in for her. And I was like, and she's like, well, can I knit something? And I was like, well, have you tried making these, Mummy? You know, like, it's quite fun. And it is a Save the Children Christmas jumper. Christmas jumper bunting. Where's my phone? I'll bring it up for you. I'll put a link in the description to going off the cuff. Where the heck is my phone? Well, I'll tell you what, menopause mind, it's real. I've put it somewhere. God knows where I've put it. No, not the foggiest. Anyway, I'll put the link in the description below. And it is bunting for Christmas jumpers, baby, like tiny little. So I've knit, you won't be able to see it, let me bring it forward. There we are, little baby jumper. And I'm just starting work on the next one, because I thought autumnal colours first off. If I do plain autumnal colours, then that's the first season underway. And I thought they're just novel, I've never seen them around, you can't buy them. And I thought, yeah, these are great. But I thought, could you put these in your car, or are they too big, do you reckon? You know, for going across your window screen. Probably too big, aren't they? Mummy said, she said, if you make them half the size, so they're only tiny, you might get away with it. But, you know, and I thought, I've got the chap next door, he does all his woodwork and stuff like that. I thought, if he could make me little hangers, they could be tree decoration. Because you can, once you've sort of got the pattern down, you can do little, you could do a robin, you could do a reindeer, you could do Santa, you could do a snowflake, you could do Fair Isle. You know, for Halloween you could do pumpkins and ghoulies and black cats and things, you know. So yeah, little bunting. So yeah, look down at the link in the description below and I'll put it there for you. It's really fun. I've simplified it for Mother, so you know, for anyone who wants to have a go at knitting, probably doesn't know a lot of techniques. If you'd like me to do a little sort of very simplified tutorial of this, let me know, because I think Mother probably, sure, she's requested it as well. But, you know, I think she's about grasped it. She was here all day yesterday, from lunch to supper. And we were just knitting and knitting and knitting. So I think she's got it in her head now. But, you know, she's slept since then. So who knows? I haven't heard from her yet. Right. So anyway, so that's what I'm getting on with. These cute little Christmas jumper buntings. So that is bedtime knitting for when it's really not there. Okay. What else? So this yarn, now I got this in one of my bumper cheapo inexpensive thingamajiggies, and it's the kind of yarn that goes thick and thin, and apparently it's called arts yarn or something. I mean, I don't know. But if you can, I don't know if you can see that. It goes, it's really thin here, and then it goes thick, and then it goes thin and thick and thin. And when you knit up with it, so this is a hat. Not quite sewed it together, but that's the kind of bobbly. Yeah, it's it's not fabulous. That's not actually too bad for what it is, but depending on the needle size, some of it is really atrocious. Not sure if I'd want to wear that. I might have to unstitch this. But I've never known what to do with it. I've got it in 3 or 4 colours, cones and cones of the stuff. And so I'm kind of like, well, what can I do? And then I thought myself, well, actually, I've kind of worked out that if you work on half D, these are 4.5mm, and if you do a moss stitch, it's kind of, it's not fully disguised, but it doesn't look terrible. I think that's got a nice look to it. So I was like, right, okay, I can live with that. I actually think that looks quite, you know, quite respectable, quite nice. Yeah, it's not a very hard wearing yarn. I mean, I made some socks in it, and within 2 months they were getting unravelled for the garden yarn because there were just holes everywhere. So it's not a very hard wearing yarn. So it's no good for making loads of socks because they just fall apart. So because I found this moss stitch, I was thinking, okay, well, what moss stitch designs have I seen back in the day that I like? And my mind went to this crew sweater, which I think is rather nice. It's out the Vogue knitting book. I think it's an 80s pattern, 81 it is. But I think as far as 80s fashion goes, with it being early, I think we've gotten away with it. But yeah, it just looks lovely, and I actually think to myself that as the pattern would look really nice. So what I've got to do now is, because it's completely the wrong needle size and the wrong yarn size, ooh, what's happening? Let's play that. There we go. It's on the laptop, folks, so hopefully that should stop the focusing and the exposuring and all the rest of it. But we'll see. We'll see. We're working with the technology we've got. But yeah, so these needles are slightly smaller, and I don't know what if you could call the yarn Aran, I haven't got a clue. So I've got to just sort of work out the tensions, rejig the stitch numbers so that I can, you know, adapt it for what I've got. But yeah, so that is definitely on the cards. But I'll start that another day. I need little jobs now. I think there's an awful lot of people that have been taking interest in my mittens and things, so I need to really get cracking with all of those. But yeah, so that's that. So I think it's called art yarn. If you know any better, please let me know, because I got it in one of these bargain boxes with no instructions or not a clue what it is, or you know what to do with it. So it's just been sitting for years and years, just been sitting, not doing very much. I think I've got it in this colour, I've got it in brown, possibly mustard. Yeah, I've got it in mustard, and I've got it in grey. So I've got a lot of it, a lot of the stuff. So if this works, I might end up making 4 sweaters. Oh dear. And then I've just been going through, trying to find the Christmas stocking pattern. I've been going through my thingies, and I completely came across this, which is, I completely forgot I had, which is just an absolutely fabulous jumper. Again, it's Vogue Knitting presents Debbie Bliss. But I think Debbie Bliss, I mean, I've just been going through some of them, and the patterns, there are some absolutely atrocious things. You just think this should never have wasted the paper, you know, to make. You think, who's going to knit that? But to each their own. We've all got our own different styles, haven't we? But so Debbie Bliss has got some lovely patterns in. She's got taste. She's got good style. There's some little booties for the baby. And Mary Henderson's a good one as well. I do like her stuff as well. But we've got little ABC. Very nice, very nice. But yeah, it's a fabulous jumper, pullover, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely love it. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Lovely, lovely. And yeah, got this one as well. This was from 2009, I think, this one. But yeah, she's got some really nice, there's a really nice hot body cover there. Again, I could do with the hot water bottle cover as well. So, you know, I just love flipping through. We're getting to that time in the year now where we can just, you know, retreat and just be amongst our books and our craft and whatever you enjoy. You can just retreat inward. Or if you're on the other side of the world, you're starting to look out, aren't you, into the garden with hope and promise. But yeah, it's another lovely top there. Very, very nice. Very nice. So that's them. So I'm glad I've actually come across those. It's giving me food for thought. But yes, I really must start cracking on with making enough for a stall. I've got a lot of knitting to do. I'm using loose leaf tea. I find that, I don't use a tea strainer because I find that the leaves just fall to the bottom. So as long as you don't, you know, have it down to the last dreg, you don't really get tea leaves in your tea because they've all settled down to the bottom of the pot. So that is lovely. Beautiful colour. There we go. Books wise, I've been out going around the charity shops. I found this. There's some decent crochet patterns in here. I don't know crochet. I'm not really a crocheter. It confuses me. It really does. It doesn't come easy. But I thought these kind of patterns are so lovely that, because I'm not a huge, that they, you know, they might help me with my learning. Because I'm not a huge sort of granny squares sort of crochet. I don't like that look, the granny squares but one of the girls at the sewing club, she mentioned this thing called Tunisian. See, that's nice, isn't it? Little pom-pom slippers for the bebe. She mentioned Tunisian crochet. And it's a cute little hat. And so I think, oh, okay. So we've got socks. See, again, so I think Tunisian crochet is a little bit more like this. It looks a little bit more sort of knitted or like linen. You know, it's a, you know, a stronger sort of fabric as opposed to just your granny's. Oh, hello. Oh, you won't kick him out of bed, would you? Ooh. Hello, dear. How are you? Well, he's not too bad either. Well, they picked some good models in this book. Yeah. Oh, I've lost my trail of thought. I was on about Tunisian crochet, wasn't I? Right, okay. Oh, that's a nice beanie. That's a nice. Oh, that's on the front cover. Nice beanie. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the granny squares look. But I thought this, if I buy this might, oh, here we are, what's this? Oh, baskets. You see, I can see how they'd be useful if you can get yourself that. I'm sure I've saved in my liked list of videos how to make baskets, crochet baskets. So, yeah. That's not a bad Christmas wreath. Bows have been on the one, but you know, all good. So yeah, so I thought, well, that's probably worth the shout. Try and get me into crocheting a bit. I can learn that craft. I would like to sort of be a little bit better at that before the end of the year is out. I've got myself a 60s, 70s patterns book of crochet somewhere. But Obviously I've put it somewhere safe. Could be anywhere. Anyway, so other books that I found. I don't know if I've shown you this one. This is Land Girl by Anne Hall, and it's her story of working as a land girl during the war and then just slightly after the war. She found that after the war, though, it kind of lost its pizzazz. So I think she finished in 46, but it's got lovely pictures there. It's her story. She started on, she went with her sister, then her sister, because there weren't actually that many jobs at the beginning of the war for them. There weren't that many assigned places for them to go. They weren't in that great of a demand to begin with. Her sister went back to college to continue her studies, and Anne had the decision then as, do I stay doing a land girl or do I go back working in the hospital that I was working in, because she was working, I think, in a doctor's or a hospital or something. And she made friends with another land girl, so that kept her where she was. And then they weren't happy, so they moved on. And eventually she ended up in a big place where there was quite a few of the girls, and she ended up, you know, working her way up to the point where she was training them and all the rest of it. And yeah, it's you could see through, as she was writing over the years as she was going in, that more and more the farmers were embracing the girls working on the land, because they were beginning to prove themselves that they could do this job. You know, they were as capable as the men. So you can feel it, that over time they were embraced, you know. So great, really good proper autobiography of a land girl. That is, to me, that was just like solid gold. I was like a pig in mud reading this. I also found this, which is Diary of a Farmer's Wife, and it's all in sort of ye old Shakespearean kind of language. So over the winter I'm definitely going to enjoy reading that, and it's from the year 1796 until 1797, and it starts sort of February the 6th and finishes August the 6th. So just over a year. And yeah, some of it, I think her husband's name is John, and she's had to make I've read a tiny bit of it, and she's had to make a tincture or whatever it is, because he ate too much pig. He have taken too much pig. And you're just like, oh dear. So funny. But she's got recipes in here. She's got 2 eggs cooked hard. These be all chopped up together with some fat bacon. It's just like the language that how they used to spell things back in the day. So yeah. So we'll see if there's any recipes for us, folks. You never know. We could do a 1796-97 recipe. So that's that. I'm going to enjoy that. This is a tried and tested. I like this. The English year tells you all about the English customs throughout the year. So it's quite thick actually. So we do get through quite a few activities. But yeah, and it's got pictures and things. But so here we are. What we're at the end of August. Beginning of September, so the last Sunday in August. Plague Sunday is the last Sunday in August. Well, we've just missed that. Plague Sunday. Oh, that's to do with the village in Derbyshire, the Eam village. Is it the Black Death, the plague from London, that was the fleas on the rats? And then is it the Great Fire killed it off or something? I might be getting confused. But anyway, a village up in Derbyshire, a little village, 360 people it was, and 260 of them died, sadly. The tailor ordered some textile fabric from London, and that brought the plague. That's the idea, is that the theory is that that's what brought the plague to the village, fleas within the fabric. And who was it? The local rector, William Montpesson, supported by his wife Catherine and the previous incumbent Thomas Stanley, who had been ejected from the living at the Restoration, persuaded the villagers to impose a strict quarantine to contain the disease and prevent it from spreading to neighbouring villages. And it worked. It worked. They managed to contain the plague to just their village. So for that, I mean, I was watching Apron Full of Stones, I think, and she did a video which showed how there was like a family of 7 children, the husband, I think it was only the wife that made it through, and they all were just wiped out within a week. All her babies, her husband, all gone. I mean, the heart bleeds, doesn't it? The poor girl. Oh God. She'd need more than a hug, wouldn't she? That's for sure. And then I found this. The band played on, which I thought would be quite interesting. It's the grandson, or the great-grandson of the violinist who was in the band on the Titanic. So, yeah. Well, that will be an interesting read, actually, as to how his story of how he got to the point where he was the violinist on the Titanic. And I mean, we know that the band were absolute troopers. They just played on, as it says they did. So that'll be a good, interesting read. But you look through at some of the pictures and you just think, you can just see the poverty, you know, like the poverty in some of, you know, the back in the day. You know, we weren't all the gentry living the dream, you know, as an awful, probably a lot of people who are not au fait with English heritage perceive this country as being, that, you know, we've never had it so good. Our living standards are amazing now in comparison to what they were. You know, when people said they were dragged up, they really were dragged up, you know. So that's that. And then, oh, me things stopped. Hold on one second. Let's take it back. There we go. Right. And then I found this, banded together. It's a local history book. Coal mining disaster. So there's still quite a few of them down there because they weren't all retrieved. But it's so crazy. That's the Whittick colliery. And it's so crazy to think that some of these surnames I've been to school with, you know, like I know them. Like I know that Beniston and Springthorpe are cousins now, and you've got Belcher and you've got Stacey and Wyatt. You just think, I've been to school with the ancestors of these poor chaps who died down the mine. And you know, so again, that'll be a really interesting read. That will. But what else is there to chat about? Are you guys planning anything for Christmas? Have you even thought about it, or is that like swearing in your household? It's kind of a bit swearing, isn't it? But yeah, you got to start on these things now. I've picked out something for a few people in my life that they're going to get, because here's the thing: if you don't start now, it's going to be a mad dash towards the end of the year. We don't have the time, and everyone gets socks. That seems to be my experience. So I'm trying to avoid that, so that they get, you know, nicer presents than just socks. Socks are absolutely lovely. Don't get me wrong, they're fabulous. But every year getting socks, it's a bit, I think it'd be nice to shake it up a bit this year. So yes, we've got to start click-clacking quickly. So the garden's about coming to the end. Oh, the garden. The fig. I've had these fig bushes now for 4 years. And this week, yesterday, I went and picked some for the first time. So I've been through one of my little, you know, that little booklet. It's about an 8-page booklet, Ministry of Food 1940. And on the back page, there's fig charlotte. So I'm going to have a go at making that later on. So see how we get on. But yeah, oh, so nice chatting with you guys. Just chilling and chatting. Wasn't it lovely? Anyway, thank you so much for popping round. I think we'll call it quits there. I mean, Rosalie's Pantry, she did ask, you know, do you read books of the time, that are set in the era? And when I do get chance, I do, but I'm only one person, and it's I don't seem to be able to just sit and read at the moment. Life just doesn't seem to be going that way for me. But I'm still working my way through. Where have I put it? I'm still working my way through. Oh! Let me finish that thought. 1 second. I'm still working my way through. I've got Spitfire Sweetheart. So we're still working on that. She's a really good writer. It's a brilliant little story, but it's just sitting down, you know. Sitting down for it. I've also got these. We've got Joanna Toy. So I've got that to read. We've got The Factory Girls at Long Lane. Although they're land girls. They're not in the factory. It's a bit confusing. And then this is Joanna Toy. I think this one follows this one. And yeah. So it's a story of a girl, and then she's, you know, makes friends and all the rest of it. But yes, so I do read other things from the time. One of my favourites to read, I do enjoy myself a bit of Oscar. We like a bit of Oscar. I do love a gay. I love a gay. They've just got such great wicked sense of humour, which is fantastic. Where else am I looking? There we are. We've got this. Now, I've had this for many, 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 many years. It is, oh God, it's a bit dusty. It's Character and Conduct, a Book of Helpful Thoughts. And it's 1907. And the paper is, I mean, it's gold there, if you can see that. It's gold tinted. And it's kind of like papyrus paper, but not quite. So let's find out where we are today. So, love and remorse. See, jealousy, love and remorse. They've got all different sort of ideas. Oh, we're on love, August the 31st. Unrequited love tomorrow. Ooh. August the 31st. So there we go. Love is the first and the last and the strongest bond in experience. It conquers distance, outlives all changes, bears the strain of the most diverse opinions. Dr. John Watson. So, is that Sherlock Holmes? The Mind of the Master? It must be. But yes, I do enjoy this little book from time to time. It's a great little one to pick up. And just thoughts of the day. But this was a great find. This is a book compiled of excerpts of the Daily Mail throughout the 30s. So, if I've got to be careful with my tea, but you've got fashion, you've got food, you've got beauty, and you've got it's like that. So this is going to be a really good source of info for your 30s. You see, I was doing my capsule wardrobe video, And then I came across this, which has completely blown it all out the water, because now my mind is going on a slightly different tangent, all the rest of it. Because even on the back, it's got this, look, how I spend my allowance. So, yeah, lots of info in here, lots of stuff, really good. How to clean, the latest slimming exercise. Housework. I didn't get that edition. I missed the press that day. We don't need to know that. Housework, slimming. No. Life's for living. Life's for living. You know. As long as you're clean, you're good. You know, draw the line at dirty. But you know. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to achieve this kind of set decoration, I can assure you. So natural. But yeah, lovely. Oh, got an egg mask there. How to do an egg mask. Coats must have fur. Not anymore. Hair modes, go Greek. What's new for Christmas? Ooh, by our shop detective. Ooh. Oh, I really need to just find the time to sit down and flip through all these things. But yeah, oh, and then I got Laurence Olivier. I know his name, don't know nothing about the chap, but I just thought, he's an interesting one. We'll go with that. Yeah. Right, anyway, so yes, Rosalie, I do read from things that are the sort of the time, but when I get the time. But anyway, let's enjoy my cup of tea. I've got to go dash out now, buy a few more bits, go collect some stuff, and then get myself scrubbed up and get to work. So, and I've got to make that fig charlotte as well. I don't think the figs will last another day. Right, yeah, busy. Anyway, thanks for joining, chaps, and I wish you well with whatever you've cracked on. What have you been making while we've been sat chinwagging? Let us know in the comments. Bye.